What you see is a set of vintage playing cards from 1963. And these cards, of course, carry the iconic Coca Cola stylings and art that was known for the time period. And on this particular deck, what you can see is the image of two teenagers in what appear to be planting of a tree. As you can see there, they're enjoying a nice drink. They are having a good time, and what I find particularly beautiful is the little puppy that's on the card. Now, these cards are, of course, branded with the Coca Cola logo and a Coca Cola slogan that reads, "Things go better with Coke." And you would probably think that they were manufactured by the Coca Cola company. However, what you can also see about these cards is that they're quite vintage. The packaging, the art style, everything about them, it just screams vintage. And there's a reason for that. Number one, they're from 1963. This deck was produced by a company known as Brown Bigelow. It was founded in 1896 by one Hiram Brown and Herbert Bigelow. And the company, Brown Bigelow, has gone through some significant changes over the years. But at the turn of the 1900s, as we got into 1900, the company focused primarily on the printing of calendars, print materials, advertising, that sort of thing. And in fact, Brown Bigelow would even go on to work with people like Rockwell as one of their main artists, and the Boy Scouts of America. And for you real card enthusiasts out there, one thing to note is that Brown Bigelow also once held the Hoyle Card Company, along with a few others, including Maverick, until they sold it to the United States Playing Card Company in 2001. Now, Hiram Brown was out of the company relatively early, by 1905, I believe, and that left Bigelow to run things. But, you know, things go through changes, companies have their fair share of issues, and Bigelow, well, he didn't believe in a lot of things when it came to the government, and he eventually ended up serving time in prison for tax evasion. While he was there, he came up with the concept for hiring ex-cons, primarily to be his employees, and that's also where he would meet future company president Charles Ward. He served time with Ward, and after Ward got out of prison, he then hired him onto the company. And upon Bigelow's tragic death in a drowning accident in a lake, that's when Ward took over the company. And of course, Ward continued the same tradition that Bigelow had begun by hiring primarily ex-cons to be his workforce. Now, it's said that at the time of his death, Bigelow would leave behind a estate that was worth an estimated $3 million. And when you figure that out for inflation in the current day, that's about $23.5 million, which is really not bad for a guy who produced calendars and playing cards. But that's enough about the history of Brown Bigelow. Let's get into this particular deck. I picked up these two decks of cards in an antique shop. I was immediately drawn to them, especially for their good, cheap price. A mentor of mine in the antiques field told me once that if it's less than $10 and you like it, you should buy it. As I said, this particular deck of cards comes with a lot of things. The teenagers planting a tree, the puppy, the Coke insignia, and Brown Bigelow had been contracted to make these cards, along with several other sets that you can find online. As I said, I have 2 packs of these cards. One of them actually still has the blue Brown Bigelow seal on it, something that is quite difficult to find, makes it rare, and also makes it worth a lot of money. What's missing, however, is the cellophane. You can kind of see the strip where the cellophane ripper would have been, but the cellophane's gone. The pack was just never opened. The secondary pack, however, was opened, so we're going to have a look at these cards. When the cards are spread out even, in no particular order, they fan out like any other card. Now, that's because they feature something called Ready Slip. Ready Slip was a early predecessor to the finish that you may see on bicycle cards today. It was a new finish that was designed to allow the cards to go smoothly and also have a coating that would be durable and last. Now you're going to notice that that ready slip finish allows these cards to fan out quite nicely. They look really good, they're still in good shape, and if we have a look at these cards, you see that the edges are still great. There's no yellowing, there's no deterioration, there's no bends in these cards. Whoever owned these cards really took good care of them. They probably didn't use them all that much, as you can see by the edging, and they enjoyed them for what they were. Now, as stated, these cards use the ready slip finish. Both of the jokers are in this pack, and all of the other cards are here, along with the tuck box. In researching this deck, along with the Brown Bigelow company, one thing that I found was a varying amount of prices. Because, naturally, these cards being from 1963 and being vintage, you're probably wondering how much they're worth. I've seen them anywhere from $30 for a pretty raggedy looking tuck box and pretty well worn cards, up to about $150 for a pack that's still in the cellophane. Now, this pack is not in the cellophane, but it is still sealed. Who knows what it could be worth? If you know, you can let me know in the comments below. This other deck is in relatively great condition. There are no bends in the corners, there's no damage, so it's hard to tell. Maybe anywhere from 30 to 60, who really knows? The main point is that these are beautiful cards produced by a once great company. Today, the Brown Bigelow company is a generic merchandising company. You hit them up, you tell them you need your logo on something, and they'll print it. Water bottles, jackets, t-shirts, whatever it might be, they'll put your logo on something. Because after all, that's what they've always been good at, and that's what they've done. But for now, what we'll all do is just sit back and enjoy these beautiful cards in beautiful condition for what they are. And so there you have it. The Things Go Better with Coke deck from 1963. Oh, and one thing that I forgot, there was a second version of this deck that came out in 1963, featuring a waitress holding a platter with Coke bottles on it. Same slogan, same artwork, just a different kind of face on the card. But still produced in the same year by the same company. That's all for this look at these cards. You can like and share and subscribe this video if you wish. Leave a comment down below and tell me what you think about these cards and if you own a pack of your own, because I'd really like to hear about it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.